Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Pedro Cordero. We're here at Commando Gaming Cave. Just wanted to do a quick deck profile for Killer Tune, or sorry, Kewl Tune in the TCG. I still hate the change of the name, but I got first place yesterday at the cave. Playing Kewl Tune, and I just wanted to share the deck profile because it's a deck that has a lot of potential for the upcoming format for Burst Protocol, and even more in Blazing Dominion over in May. But yeah, just to get into the deck, super simple, just 3 of each name, 3 Q. This is your best normal summon in the deck. It summons a tuner from anywhere, hand, deck, or grave. Then you have Rico, that searches anything that's not a level 3. And then Mix, that searches anything that's not a level 2. And then Clip, that is basically your 5 mana, or your Izuna / Lupus, that lets you synchro in the opponent's turn. During the main phase, you summon this, and then you immediately synchro using cards from the hand, because that's like the essential gimmick of the deck. You can always use a tuner from hand as long as you have one of these names on field. So we max out on all the names. The one name you could cut is probably Mix, because she's not full combo. Everything else does lead to a combo where you can extend over some disruption. But yeah, that's our Killer Tune names. Then we have the sort of extender or brick of the deck, that's Red Nova. This lets you summon a Reco from deck, and usually do a Q into Red Nova, Synchro into the 4, and then you go from there. Then usually your best starter is Synchro Overtake. This does play into Nibiru usually, which makes it a little weird, but does play through Droll, through Fuwa, through usually eats the Ash, is one of the best starters. Someone usually Mix or Rico from it. And then you have Kewl Tune Synchro. This is the best card in the deck. This lets you quick synchro at any time. It can be used up to twice per turn, so you can usually use one as a starter or extender, and then set one for your end of your turn, or keep extending through 1 or 2 hand traps usually. But the best card in the deck. Then we have the field spell. Usually I would like to play one more of this, but one is great. You can search it almost at any time with either Kewl Tune Synchro, because this has any Kewl Tune card. But this is a great extender. This should tribute any tuner. So any tuner plus this in your opening hand can be combo if your hand is a little weird. So Baylor plus this can be full combo. This plus Bell, and lets you summon another tuner from your hand. So an additional normal summon for another tuner. Then for the rest of the spells, we have a Prosperity, a Call by the Grave at Talents. This for extra consistency, and this for just better for going first. Nothing really to say there. For the non-engine, we have 3 Fuwalos, 3 Ash, 3 Bell, 3 Veiler. Usually having a tuner hand trap is great. You can summon any of your hand traps that are tuners from a Q and make one of your synchros, and then get it back during your opponent's turn to kind of recycle hand traps or add them to your hand basically. Then we have to round it out, to Droll. This was to Nibiru, but I think Droll's a little better into the format right now than Nibiru, because Radiant Typhoon adds a lot to hand. Branded Dracotel does play into Draw Lockbird a little harder for the next format, and right now Mitsurugi is still a deck, and Onomat Rai is still a deck, which was one of the decks I played against in my tournament run. And then the last non-engine is Following the Virtues. You have a lot of extra deck space before any of the support, and this card is amazing. Like, you destroy a card, you set one again with the Albion. It's very good to reinforce your boards or have extra pushes going second. But that is the main deck. It's just a clean 40 cards. no need to play 41. 40 is just right. You can also play Extravagance if you don't want to play Called by the Grave or Talents, or if you don't want to play Prosperity. I just don't like banishing randomly from the extra deck. I think it's a little too much. But for the extra deck, we have 3 of the Trackmaker. This adds any Kewl Tune card and can use any Synchro or any tuner from hand, to Synchro summon. When it's used as Synchro material, you can return a card to the hand. So this is very good. I usually leave it as part of my endboard. You also have the boss monster, which is a Red Seal RS. This is a floodgate against monsters with less than 1700 attack. Because you leave it on field, it raises their level by 1. So against Yomi, if you deal with their Mitsurui cards, if they're something Yomi Mitsu, and you put this, it usually forces them into SP, or it's usually GG because they can't Synchro. Especially now that they have only one Snatchy. This is also a negate by banishing one of your tuners from grave, and it gains attack for every tuner in the graveyard. So if your opponent ashes you, that's 300 extra attack this monster has. So it's fantastic. The only problem is that it only negates in the main phase. So that's something that your opponent can definitely play around, especially if they have quick play spells or quick effects they can activate during the draw phase or standby phase, or even end phase. But this is still a great card. Then we have 2 Remix, 2 Loudness War. Remix is basically a card that you do as part of your endboard. A lot of your hands will lead to you ending on Remix because it is your most accessible Synchro and the most flexible. You tribute it only during your opponent's turn for a cost to select 2 tuners from your graveyard, any 2 tuners. So you can select Ash and a Kewl Tune. You summon one and then you add the other to hand. So basically this lets you summon a Kewl Tune monster and then add a hand trap, and then in resolution of that effect, you Synchro summon. So you can either add 2 Kewl Tunes and Synchro summon into your Red Seal, or you can basically just summon your smaller names, your mix or your remix, search, and then summon with your quick play spell or some other effect. But this is a very good card. The only problem is that it loses hard to Ghost Spell, and a lot of the effects in this deck lose to Ghost Spell because the Mix and Rico add from graveyard. Loudness War protects all your other tuners from targeting, so it basically makes them towers, and it copies effects from the graveyard. So basically, if you have your Rico in graveyard, when your opponent activates an effect, you can banish this, and then you can copy the effect to destroy a spell or trap your opponent controls. But very good cards. Then we have the flex spots. We have Vanadium Prime Heart. This is for OTK. You don't need a non-tuner. Don't need a non-tuner, so you can basically, if you use 3 tuners, you can attack 3 times. And it has 3,000 attack just for OTK. And we have the 3 fallen in the virtuous targets in Albion, and the 1 Typhon. Nothing really to say here, pretty self-explanatory. You don't really go into it much. It's basically the target for prosperity. And then last but not least, we do have the side deck. The side deck is going to change depending on the format, but right now I'm running 2 Nibiru, 2 Purulia, 2 Meowth. The tournament everyone was playing post-ban list, but pre-burst protocol, so Meowth is still somewhat relevant. Then we have the Tree of Rose Whip that you make going first. You summon it off of Q, and you summon it off Remix during the opponent's turn. This lets the opponent only summon activate 1 spell or trap during their turn. For the spells, we have 1 Harpy Feather Duster, 1 Duelist Genesis. This is for extra consistency going first. This is to break boards. Pretty self-explanatory there. And then we have the traps finally. We have 1 Kewl Tune playlist. 1 Solemn Judgment for going first, and finally 3 evenly matched for going second. This lets you pick up a Kewl Tune from the graveyard or from the field, add it to your hand, and copy their effect. When it's used as synchro material. But just as extra sealing for going first. But that's the deck. Any questions, leave them in the comments. I'm more than happy to help people when it comes to building this deck. It has a lot of potential in the next format with Burst Protocol and Blazing Dominion in May. With the new Kewl Tune support and Elf Notes and Burst Protocol and Zaren, the Chainbound Dragon, which is a synchro that can negate and chain of another effect. So if your opponent Dark Rulers you can chain a trap or another effect, and then chain Zaren, which negates the Dark Ruler removal. So the support in general is great in the upcoming booster boxes. So I would definitely keep an eye on this deck. And yeah, thanks to everybody for helping me build this deck. My team with Ildemaro and Jason and David Duran, and people here at the cave. And thank you to Brandon Player 23 for the opportunity to share the deck with you guys. But thank you.